Welcome everybody. In this video, I will talk about specifically why the semen retention gives you more this consciousness. Okay, so long story short, semen retention, every single time you are relapsing, your semen have a lot of vitamins and a lot of minerals that your body needs. So when you're gonna retain your seeds, your body gonna start to produce and actually be compatible with the fact that your semen have a lot of vitamins and minerals, so they're gonna use it. Your body gonna use it, okay? So think about it this way. When your body is producing even more and you're not relapsing, what's gonna happen? Your body gonna start to function in a good way. So when your body gonna start to function in a good way, your mind gonna start to function in a good way as well. It makes sense. It's linked, okay? So if I have to talk about it scientifically, what happens is basically when you're gonna stop relapsing, you're not touching your prefrontal cortex, specifically your frontal lobe. And your frontal lobe have a lot of functions, okay? It have maintaining social expectations. That's why a lot of my clients have this problem when it comes to talking, socially, being comfortable socially. And they keep telling me that they are introvert, which is not the case. And if you're watching this video, it's the same thing with you. It's the same thing. You're not socially awkward, or you're not afraid, or you don't have any social anxiety. That's fake. That doesn't exist. And the same thing applies to depression, okay? Those are simply your thoughts that you keep reframing them into a negative situation, which is gonna push you to think in a critical way. And if you're gonna start to think in a critical way, you're gonna rewire your subconscious mind to think about negative stuff. And guess what's gonna happen? This is gonna keep literally compounding and compounding and compounding. And the more you're gonna think in a negative way, the more you're gonna see the results in your body, the more you will rewire your nervous system as well. That's what's happening. And if you go to a doctor and you talk to him and you tell him, I have depression, what he gonna do? He will give you pills. Let's say you have depression, right? You go to the doctor. He will give you pills that have serotonin. Serotonin is the hormone of happiness, if I can call it like this, right? Serotonin is a hormone that is very, very, very important. And every single time you are relapsing, there is a small dose of serotonin that is gone every single time you are relapsing. So let that sink in for a second. Think about it, okay? Because in this video, I want you to think about it, step by step. I'm gonna try to make you more conscious and understand what's the things that you're gonna start to see. Because yes, you will come up with the best perspectives. You will start to see things in a different way. And like I've said before, it makes sense because you are retaining your seeds. And when you're gonna retain your seeds, you will basically start to think in another way, because you're not relapsing, you're not vibrating on the lowest frequency, which is the root chakra, okay? But on the other hand, what you're doing is you're gonna keep vibrating on the highest frequency. The more you're gonna be on your self-improvement journey, and you're gonna be at the same time on, being celibate, or basically just be on semen retention, you will be and start to vibrate on the highest frequency. And if I can give you one note that gonna work 100%. If you're watching this video, please make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'm always posting about semen retention content, and I've helped a lot of people overcome this addiction throughout, my journey. And of course, as a semen retention coach, because I am a semen retention coach, and just by watching my YouTube videos. So just keep watching my YouTube videos, and this is gonna compound your knowledge. The more you're gonna watch YouTube videos, you know what? You don't even have to watch just my YouTube videos. You can watch other people's YouTube videos as well, which I highly recommend you to do. So please keep doing this. Always keep trying to learn. Always try to seek, educational content. And please, always make sure that you learn as much as you can when it comes to semen retention. Nikola Tesla was talking about this. Napoleon Hill was talking about this, okay? Even in this generation, Elon Musk, he was talking about this as well. And of course, if I have to talk about athletes, there is Cristiano who doesn't even sleep with his wife. And he said this. LeBron James, who said, I don't think my wife likes this, what I'm doing. I'm not gonna give my ingredients to my enemies. He knows what he's talking about. They know. And think about it. They know what you don't know. You think that this life as a man, because here I'm only talking with men, that's my viewers. If you're a man, okay, You need to understand that this life is temporary, and you don't have to live this life just because you want to have a pleasure in this life. This life is not made for pleasure. This life is all about lessons. You should learn as much as you can. I created this quote for a reason. So think about it this way, right? If you always chase pleasure, you are chasing instant gratification. When you're gonna chase this instant gratification, you need more and higher, how can I say it? A boundary of dopamine. A level of dopamine, okay? I'm just gonna reframe it, a level of dopamine. So the more you're gonna chase dopamine, the higher you need a reward. You know, the more you need more dopamine hits. And guess what's gonna happen if you keep watching, PMO, if you keep watching pornography? What's gonna happen? You will keep watching the same content, but because you need more dopamine hits, you will watch even more extreme content. That's how a lot of my clients and a lot of people that I've been talking to, they have fetishes, okay? That's why you gonna improve a kind of fetish that basically gonna think or make you think that you're weird, but you're not. It's just because you will need more dopamine hits. And like I've said previously, that's the reason why if you keep, touching your dopamine levels, you will not have any motivation. You simply don't want to do anything. You just want to sit and, keep relapsing. Okay? So you're also touching a lot of hormones, and I'm only going to talk about dopamine and serotonin. So serotonin, like I've said previously, is a hormone that is producing most of the time, I think 60% in your gut health. So what you're eating gonna plays a big role in your body. Okay? That's why you should be always eating, they call it high vibration food, which I believe it's the case, Or just eat natural stuff. Eat natural stuff. Make sure to not eat food that are in a plastic, because there's microplastics which gonna lead you to have those small little plastic, what we call microplastic inside, your semen. And that's why the fertility is minus 50%. Literally 50% of the population cannot have a baby because of those microplastics. You know what I'm saying? So they also say that each week you are containing 5 grams of microplastics, which is an equivalent of a card. I don't even have any card here, but I would like to show you. Anyway, a card, a credit card. And that's crazy, right? That's crazy because I never thought about this. I never thought about this. And this, you see, this small little idea that I just told you, it came more from the fact that because I retained my seed, I started to think in a different way. I improved my perspective about life. Way. Like the improvement that I've did these couple months is crazy. For my journey, of course. I use it to play games all the time. You know what I'm saying? I use it to eat junk food. I use it to relapse, and all of those things because of the food, because of of relapsing. Well, the food, it depends, but most because of the relapsing. Because relapsing and watching pornography, right, or sexual content, this is gonna lead you to be more lazy. Dopamine. You're touching your dopamine. You need more dopamine. The more you're gonna need more dopamine, the more you're gonna do something that doesn't have too much dopamine, which is, for example, working. That doesn't have too much dopamine. You cannot. You're gonna be lazy. Instead, what you need is basically watch porn. When you're gonna watch porn, here you go. Now you're touching the dopamine hits that you want. You know what I'm saying? So I hope this makes sense, because a lot of people have been asking me a lot of questions, and here in this video, I'm trying to give as much knowledge, and try to not go as far as I can, because I'm always trying to make you guys understand about the fact that semen retention gonna make you quite smart. If I'm not gonna lie to you, quite smart. You're gonna become more aware, you're gonna become more conscious. And consciousness is something very, very important, because a lot of people have been telling me that, yeah, I feel this way, I feel like this thing is good. I feel like, no, you are literally a slave for your own desires. You are a slave for your own desires. That's why if you are a slave for your own desires, there is another person who will be your boss. There's another person who will lead you. Okay? So what you need to do is retain your seeds, and leading yourself will become easier. Why? Because you can control yourself. The more you can control yourself in each area, but here specifically it's more about human attention, the more you can retain your seeds and you can have this self-control of like, nope, I'm not gonna have sex, or nope, I'm not watching this, pornography. I'm good. I don't need it. I'm the type of person who don't need it. And this is what we call the identity shift. You should identify yourself as a person who doesn't watch this type of content. Okay? You don't need to watch this type of content because you're not the type of person who do this. Does that make sense? Make sure to try this method. It works 100%. I've did it a lot of things, a lot of times, and it works. I also do this with my clients. Okay? So if you struggle with this addiction and you want someone to, guide you and hold you accountable, all you have to do is basically book the first free discovery call. It's the first link in the description. You will ask me questions. I will ask you questions as well to see if you can fit in the coaching program. And of course, this is for only people that can invest and that are 100% committed to quit this addiction. Okay? So remember that life is all about lessons. Learn as much as you can.